Good hello everyone, and thank you for watching this fully interactive tarot card reading for Virgo, Cancer, and Libra. In this interactive tarot reading, I'm going to be using these tarot cards as well as these runes. I made these runes quite some years ago myself, and from the felled oak branch. So in this reading, I'm going to formulate three separate piles. Virgo people, if you are Virgo, stick around because I'm about to do your reading. If you are Cancer, then skip to reading 2 in the description. If you are Libra, then skip to reading 3 in the description. Now, under each of these readings, I'm going to be providing you with the option for picking your own runes, the rune that you feel most drawn to, and in this way, it's a completely interactive tarot card reading. So, I'm going to get straight in there with Virgo's reading. Okay, Virgo people, let's see what is in store for you. Okay, Nine of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles reversed, and the World reversed. Okay. So, quite literally here, it doesn't even seem like I need to interpret much here. It's as though you had everything at your disposal. You had some kind of idyllic life here that was thrown into disarray and chaos. And now you are in a place of absolute misfortune. Okay. Have you done this to yourself? Have you been the cause of this um, chaos within your domestic sphere? Have you not been very subtle in your ways? Have you somehow caused the demise of your own misfortune at this time? It is extremely important that you do not take risks at this time. This is your present, and there is a possibility of misfortune here. If you take risks, it's really important that you actually stay very cautious at the moment. I mean, especially, particularly when it comes to financial matters at the moment, it might even be best to seek professional advice when it comes to financial decisions. Absolutely do not make any decisions in haste or out of in the moment, in anger or any sort of particular emotion. It's important to realize that the reversed world shows us that sometimes it's necessary for our lives to literally turn it on its head, to change, to switch things up. Nothing can stay the same. We are constantly in flux. We are forever changing. The world reversed is not bad in this way. Sometimes it's important for us to lose to gain the perspective of value. However, sometimes this loss is unnecessary, and you actually have quite a lot at your disposal, or did have. This present scenario that you're in right now is potentially quite dangerous, and I don't want you to lose out unnecessarily. Virgo people, this is almost certainly a financial issue. Let's consult the runes now, and I'm going to give you, this is the interactive part of your reading now. You're going to find out exactly what your answer is. I'm going to give you a choice of one of three runes. And if you're choosing the first one here, stick with me. There's no need to skip ahead using any of the timestamps. If you are using the second rune, then skip to this now. If the third, then skip to the third rune under Virgo. If you chose the first rune, or if this rune somehow called out to you, this is relevant to you, Virgo people. It is Henna's reversed. Essentially, Kenaz is the torch that lights the way. And in reverse, it shows there might be a lack of self-reflection, a lack of there's something blocking you perhaps from looking within, from utilizing your own intuitive ability. Maybe you have been stifled in this way. There's potentially some sort of ignorance here. Perhaps there's someone stopping you from looking within. So really, the answer here lies in self-reflection and looking within. Remove yourself from the situation at this time. As I said before, it is vital that you do not make decisions in haste. So I think a time of actual reflection here and removing yourself from this potentially domestic sort of chaos at the moment. Family members, I mean, although this financial issue might well revolve around them and they're tied to it, it's important that you take a step back at this time and really to sort of reassess and reignite this flame within so that it can you can light your own path so that you're not losing out. And actually, as well, I mentioned potentially seeking professional financial advice at this time. That might not be a bad idea because it's impartial, because it's outside of this way, and it's that will essentially light some of the way. There's reverse Kenaz here is showing us that there's darkness around your situation at the moment. You need to find a way to light the way, and the way to do that is not by becoming over involved in what's happening right here, right now in your life at this time. It might be that actually, during this time of self-reflection, try to pursue a new or different creative endeavor altogether, and perhaps potentially help yourself unlock some aspect of yourself that you're not seeing at this time. Now then, Virgo people, if you chose the second rune, this is for you. Let's turn it over. Feu. Ah, wow. Look at this. We're looking at a financial situation right now. Feu represents the potential for abundance and new beginnings in terms of material wealth. Really, what this shows us right here, right now, you can't think about the right here, right now. You must think about the future and planting those new seeds for potential material gain. I think as well, it must be said that there's much less of a chance for you right now if this rune drew you to it. There's much less of a chance for you right now to lose out financially. This world upside down for you doesn't necessarily mean financial loss. It might be that family dynamics shift, that you remove yourself from this dynamic and you're much happier for it. Although you lose out in some way, it's not financial. That might be what this means right now, because this is actually a very, very fortunate sign. Value is not necessarily always financial. I can't help but draw on the financial aspect here, though, so that's why I'm kind of relating it much more to that. It's also ideas and concepts and breathing new life into what could be the potential for prosperity and abundance. So it might be that actually removing yourself from your family at this time will do you the world of good. Turning things on its head, doing the unexpected might be actually very beneficial for you at this time. I think the key takeaway here is reinvest in you. You right now are actually the most important person in your own equation. And it's important that you concentrate on you and really spend some me time away from this scenario. You need to live a little. You're stifled. Breathe life into your own life, as it were. Concentrate on you. Be actually a little bit selfish and enjoy life. Now then, Virgo people, if you chose rune 3, this is for you. Let's reveal. And it is Jera. Find it really interesting here that, we've got here this rune that represents the inevitable of time itself. It's a very Saturnian rune. It's planning, time, the inevitable. and a sense of destiny and time cycles, and it really kind of it represents how time is infinite. Um, and I can't help but feel that you've got this almost like an ouroboros kind of sign here, the world, how time, how the world is affected by time, how time has its effect on us and the world around it. This really is showing me that there's limited time at this moment. It's important that you do not delay in your decision making, but at the same time, you can't be hasty. Timing is of the essence, essentially. At the same time, you might be too close to the situation to provide yourself to make an impartial or an objective decision. However, that said, Jera represents the inevitable. It might be that, in fact, this is part of your destiny, and there isn't a way to change this. And the only thing that we can do really is to look at the positives and hold on to what we have. If you still have your health, cut and run. Now, on the flip side, the other kind of interpretation we have here is because there has to be two interpretations really with this rune. Because on the one hand, it could be that time is of the essence. On the other, it could be that in fact it's the opposite, and that you have all the time in the world at your disposal. It's a very positive sign because it's showing how the wheel of fortune is turning, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. So although we don't see a financial outcome, although the world is on its head, actually, what's about to occur for you might well be destiny, and it might well be the most positive thing yet to arise in your life at this time. If this sounds more relevant to you, it's important that you stay true to yourself, stay strong in your cause, your purpose, your beliefs. Don't stray from your own path and your own needs, and you will reach a sense of fulfillment, which is in some way a complete change up to the situation you're in right now. You will find that opportunity, it's coming to break away from the ties that bind at this time. Your dedication will it will bring about positive change. It's coming. So there's two interpretations here. It depends, I suppose, which feels more relevant to you right now. Okay, Cancer people, this is your tarot reading. We're going to flip this first card. Okay, it's the Six of Cups reversed. The Seven of Pentacles. And the Three of Swords. So what we're going to do in this reading is I'm going to interpret here, and then I'm going to provide you with the option here to pick one of three runes to provide you with some clarity around your current situation, your past, your present, and your potential future at this time. Your best laid plans might have not turned out how you wished. You worked very, very hard for a very long time, in fact, in an environment that made you happy, you were comfortable, familiar, and as I say, you did it for quite some time, and there seems to be a sense of responsibility about a burden, in fact, when it comes to your I don't want to say the obvious seems like finances, but it might be that maybe you're watching someone else's finances and you feel a burden over having to do this. There's a responsibility here that you're having to count the eggs in the basket, and it's up to you. If one of these cracks, then it's on your shoulders. I think that there's a lack of enjoyment around the rewards through the efforts that you put in this time in your life. Really, you should be enjoying, and you're not able to because you kind of have to look back and you have to assess and the requirement of paying bills is really bogging you down. Now, when I look immediately, I look at this card. Following this, I can't help but feel we've got um, potentially you've got your business, your love is what you enjoy doing, what you love doing in life. Your purpose is your creative, what you're able to provide creatively, and the income that you're receiving from it isn't really equating to the efforts you're putting in. And so it's killing what you love. It's killing your art. It's so frustrating that, when we do something for a living, we do it for money. When we do it for that which we love, well, we do it for what, we love, but obviously, annoyingly, there are bills to pay. And so when we get caught in a cycle of chasing clients for payments, when we chase the next job, it really it can potentially destroy what we love. Now, obviously, the other interpretation, and a much more obvious one here, would be the potential for heartache. It's just so obvious, and it might be actually not connected to this current situation that's going on right now. You might be blindsided in matters of the heart. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to select really quite randomly from my little box here 3 runes, and you're going to choose one of three. One of these 3 runes is going to provide you with your answer. The rune you feel most drawn to at this time, I'd like you to choose. If it's rune 1, stick with me. You don't need to skip to any timestamp. If it's rune 2, Cancer people, then go to the timestamp for rune 2 under your reading, and likewise for rune 3. I don't even know what this is. I promise you I don't know what any of these are. I've just selected them blind. Now then, let's see what the answer lies. Oh, okay, reversed algaes. Algaes is about connecting with our spiritual self, connecting with our higher purpose. So that's interesting. Now, if we're looking at this first kind of interpretation here, it might be that in fact the answer lies in a complete reassessment of what you felt it was you were always meant to do. Might spell because alga's, although it's reaching upwards when it's not reversed towards a higher purpose, there's a great sort of strength there in that. It's a very protective force. There's a lack of protection at this time. So it could mean very, very much that your business, what you love doing, or your purpose, what you felt you were on this earth to do, might well take a blow. You might well take a blow. You might be blindsided in a matter of your creative function and purpose. It could be that your business, that your um your creative endeavor at this time might take such a blow. It could be that you become injured, or you have a ridiculous bill that goes out, and suddenly everything spirals. Or it could in fact well be that you're about to be blindsided by a romantic scenario. Perhaps your partner drops a bomb that they no longer love you. It could be something essentially outside of your control. There's a lack of protection, a lack of cover. You need to safeguard your heart right now. You need to safeguard what you love. You need to you need to provide yourself with a protection that is not protecting you at this time. How are you in some way at this time not protected? Think about what makes you most vulnerable at this time and do your absolute utmost to safeguard and mitigate from any potential harm at this time. This really could be emotional, spiritual, or financial, and that's why I'm trying to give you this kind of the breadth here in terms of this answer. And actually, the answer isn't looking within. The answer is looking externally for likely very practical, very down to earth and grounded solutions at this time as to the potential for your vulnerability. So, Cancer people, if you chose Rune 2, here it is. Okay. I mean, it's a wee low, but it's on its side. That's interesting. I'm going to make the executive decision here and say that this is in fact not reversed because it just wasn't clear enough. Um, and I don't get a sense of reversal from it. If that makes sense. This is obviously a very positive sign. The sun lights the way. It shows the path through the dark clouds, and it allows, as well as that, it allows you to illuminate and inspire through what you do best, through how you dazzle at this time. So this is a really positive sign, and it might be that there is some guiding light, a mentor perhaps, that is going to strike at the heart of this problem, this feeling of being stuck in a rut at this time. It might mean that in fact the three of swords is not a negative sign for you at all this time. It might be that in fact this this feeling of being stifled, stuck in a rut, looking back, a lack of creative inspiration. Perhaps you've got writer's block. It could be that in fact you are now able to very soon be guided towards the heart of the matter. You can find out exactly what the root cause problem is and cut it out. You can nip your problem in the bud because of uh, a guiding light. This is obviously, you know, light provides us with safety and guidance, and it's a revelatory. It makes us feel safe because the unknown is what's scary. Light covers all and provides us with those answers. So, in fact, it could mean this is, in fact, a very positive sign for you because although, you're going to be able to identify what the problem is and find a solution to the problem. This is a very positive sign for you, Cancer people, room 2. Okay, now, Cancer people, room 3, Gabo. Gabo is, I don't believe there is a reversal meaning for this. And it's essentially it's offering, and that could be because you're offering it or it is being offered to you. The potential here is that you are wearing your heart on your sleeve, and there is the potential for you to get hurt because of this. It's really important that you safeguard your feelings at this time in respect of what it is that you do that you love to do in life, as well as your loving relationships. Tabo represents the it's also the changes by the necessary, how can I put this? When we reap what we sow. So it could be that the seeds that you have sown, look, we literally have the seeds you've sown here, and they've turned out not as you had seen, not as you expected. Gabo represents and shows us the benefits of those seeds that we have sown. So it could be that in fact what you thought you were here to do all along is not as it seems. And it might be that in fact there is, I mean, it's really essentially it's kind of enhancing what we see here already. Gabo is showing us that you need to be aware that you could find and discover that your calling, what you felt was your calling is not in fact your calling. Alternatively, the other interpretation here, because there has to be two, because we're either giving or we're receiving, It could be that, in fact, the fruits of your labor, what you've invested in, it turns out to be something of a loss. If you are at this time counting your chips before you go all in, so to speak, it's advisable not to. That's what Gabo is showing us at the moment. If this is a purely financial situation for you, Cancer people, right now in your life, do not go all in. You need to fold because otherwise your heart is on the line and you stand to lose, and in quite a big way. I mean, maybe, you have what feels like less than what you started with. It's not actually the truth. It's not the case. Although it feels that way, notice how 7 is greater than 6. You have more because of what you've learned. And if you had to start all over again, yes, it would, that's an unbearable thought. But you would do it much more efficiently and productively in a much more positive way. You've learned so much. There's no way that you wouldn't do it better. So in a sense, you have gained. You just don't know how. You don't know. You can't see that. And that's what this card is showing us. Okay, Libra people, we're going to turn over your cards now. The 10 of Wands, 2 of Pentacles, and the 8 of Pentacles. Interesting. So this really feels to me like a career matter. This is you've put in a great deal of effort. This is your past, your present, and your future, potential future. Our future is always changing. Palmistry shows us the lines in our hands are always changing. If we change our present circumstances, then so too does our future. This is what palmistry shows us. Tarot is no different in this way. We have the power to change often our present circumstances. And realization, self-awareness of this is helpful. So it seems to me that you've worked tremendously hard against all odds, and you've carried more than you probably should have. Maybe you broke your back doing it. And what you have to show for it is not maybe as much as you thought, and actually it's something of a juggling act. And maybe that's how you feel about your life, your working scenario at this time. Maybe home life at the moment has been a bit of an uphill struggle, and you kind of need to just sort of take what you can get. At this moment, you're in a bit of a crossroads decision. You're not really sure which way to go, or you're being very indecisive. You're kind of switching from one idea to the next. You're never really sure what the right thing to do is. There's a lot of chaos and turbulence in the background, whereas it should be fairly straightforward. I mean, in a sense, nothing could be simpler from your beginnings. From when you look back, it was all so simple. Now, for some reason, it seems really chaotic at the moment. And as I say, maybe there's a crossroads decision. Maybe you're being indecisive. You don't know which way to turn. I think you're actually driven a little bit mad at the time. I think it's all a bit of a joke. I think it's been so difficult that you're about to crack. Now, being that I can't help but see that this being a purely work, finance orientated scenario here, that's what I'm getting from this. The 8 of Pentacles from a 2 of Pentacles is a remarkably positive sign. I want you to get to this, Libra people. It is entirely possible. So let's look and let's consult the runes now. I'm going to grab some runes from my little box here very randomly, and you're going to choose one of 3 runes, the one that you feel most that identifies and calls out to you. Okay, Libra people. I think this is a particularly interesting one because you're at something of a crossroads. Now, if rune 1 appeals to you in some way, you feel more drawn to this, stick around. I'm about to do this reading for you. There's no need to skip anywhere. But if you decide, or if rune 2, in fact, chooses you, skip to rune 2 under the Libra reading, and the same for rune 3. So, rune 1, Libra, This is your outcome from your present situation at this time, and it is 30 Now, 30 is protection. It is a highly powerful, defensive um, rune. It is not reversed. It's positive when used properly. So, what is the defensive of these two options at this time? I want you to put all the eggs into the basket that is least offensive. That has, the thing about 30 stars is that there is actually something really beautiful at the center of something that could cause you harm. So don't be tempted by that which might seem like an easy option. I think in this case, normally I like to say work smart, not hard. But I think in this case, the answer does lie, in fact, in working hard. The answer does lie in in looking at what might yield the best and biggest results through the most difficult work. If you're at a crossroads and you're looking at a short road or a long road, the long road is what you need to be looking at right now. And although it might be hard work, there is the potential for great gains here. You've gone from 2 to 7. I mean, you're nearly 4 times, um, in credit after, and it's not without hard work. That's the thing here. It's not going to be an overnight, fortunate event here. We're talking about a future that is a long road. This is a long distance possibility, but you have to make the right decision right now. Thurdisas is often associated with Thor's hammer, but I feel, and I always have felt, much more. This is a much more natural uh, i- um, idea, feeling, concept. This is germinating a plant, breathing new life into a new concept, and although it's not going to be easy, you're no stranger to difficulties. And I think you need to utilize and draw on what you've been through. And essentially, all of this is going to provide a rod for your finances here. I think you need to breathe life into a slow growing plant. Oak trees are, among some of the strongest out there and the slowest growing. A weed grows quickly, but you can rip it up out of the ground without issue. The slowest growing businesses are the most stable, and this is what you need to look towards at this time. And that's what Third Assas is showing us. Libra, rune 2, people. This is your answer. It is Unsaz. Now, Unsaz is our capability to communicate. And it also heeds us as a warning in terms of what we say, how we say it. Our words can't be taken back. But it also shows us that we have a voice, that we have a tool at our disposal that is quite powerful. Now, if this decision relies on your communicative abilities, if one of these two is a much more reliant on your expressive, communicative abilities, your voice, your truth, your message, then you need to go with this because that is going to lead you towards productivity, towards prosperity. I think also it shows us here that communication is the key. You need to talk with those in the know about the idea you have for this long-term project. Talk with the experts, get some advice, communicate, document, report, listen. All of these are fundamental facets of communication that a lot of people actually completely disregard. ANSAS also represents new concepts because it's only through speech and communication, through um, bodily um, expression that our ideas come into fruition. And it's not without all of these things that um, this is possible. It's not without connection as well. There has to be it's who you know. It's and I can't stress this enough. You need to network at this time. You need to talk with as many people as possible. You need to get your ideas out there. You need to spread your message, spread your thought, network. It's who you know, and this is how opportunities arise. And I guarantee you that in future you will have, although it's you're gonna have to get your head down and get to work, you're going to come up pentacles. Okay, Libra people. Rune 3, Agalas. Hail. Now, essentially, this shows us transformation. It shows us that we have to ride things out. We have to wait things out. This decision that you feel this crossroads decision that you're this juggling act, ride it out. Ride honestly now. It might feel like it's unbearable, like it's madness, like it's a joke. It might feel like you just need to escape from it all and just drop it all and run. But in fact, ride it out. That's what this is showing us because there is a transformation on the horizon, and all you need to do is wait. You don't, in fact, need to choose from either one decision. That's what Hagalas is showing us. You don't need to choose at all. You need to wait. You need to ride it out because hail turns and into water, it melts. It's inevitable. There's no point fighting against this kind of force. This external force is completely against our control, and it's going to happen. But it will end. It will turn into water, and essentially, you'll be able to emerge victorious so long as you are patient, so long as you wait. This, what you're going through right now, you might feel like you have a sense of control. It's not the case. You don't have a sense of control over what's occurring right now. The only control that you have is whether or not you stop or persist. And my advice here is to persist because you need to wait. And the opportunity will arise, and great things are on the horizon for you. Should you follow this advice? Argalas is telling us. Libra Room 3 people. And that is my best advice that I could give you right now through what this rune is telling us. I do hope you have enjoyed this reading. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what your comments are. And, let me know if you've enjoyed this fully interactive tarot reading. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I do hope to see you all again sometime soon. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe.